Hello, my name is Andrew Thate from Minds and Money. Delighted to be joined today by Michael Griffiths, who's the President and CEO of Currie Rose. Delighted to have you with us today, Michael.
Thanks, Andrew. It's a pleasure to be here and all the very best for the new year. 2023 is going to be a big one for all of us, I think.
Well, yeah, hopefully it will be a great year for Currie Rose. Before we delve down into learning a little bit more about your mining company, can you just tell us why should investors be looking at vanadium in 2023?
Yeah, that's a great question, Andrew. I think vanadium has been, in many respects, one of the forgotten critical minerals. And that's basically because I think everybody knows about lithium. They carry it around in their pocket, they carry it in their motor cars. But, who knows about lithium? And we all do. But who knows about vanadium? Well, no one does. So vanadium really comes in at a completely different level. It's actually more for industrial scale type in battery world. And of course, because of that, it means that it's not on your average person's radar. So, and there's another really good point about vanadium, which needs to be brought forward to everyone as well, is that traditionally, vanadium and around about 80% of the current market is really with the use of vanadium in steel. And of course, that's also a boom area in the sense that it makes steel a lot lighter, it makes it a lot more useful. And so there's a huge demand in that area as well. Now, why is vanadium becoming more and more important is because I think people have realized that the battery space is really a whole bunch of different things. And our battery opportunity comes because we're filling a void which currently exists at the industrial scale. And that's why I think you'll see in the next few years from now, there's going to be larger redox flow batteries, which are powered by vanadium pentoxide, our primary product. And as a result of that, there will be a great opportunity for investors to get in on the ground floor now, because now is the time to get there.
Mm-hmm. So if there's a really strong business case for vanadium, why should investors be looking at Currie Rose?
Yeah, another great question. Currie Rose is really at the forefront of what's going to be a large industrial boom in Queensland. Now, Queensland has got a lot of really good things going for it. It's a jurisdiction that is very mining friendly. Our project is located in Central Queensland. It's a long way from the urban areas, but it has a lot of other advantages with it, which make it, quite an important place for us to be, and a really good place for investors to consider. For a start, we're midway between the port of Townsville and the mining hub, if you like, of Mount Isa. We're about 500 kilometres to either side of those two centres. But the good thing is we're on a railway line. We're also on a major road. We're also on major power lines. So there's a lot of really good infrastructure that comes with this project. We're not likely to have any real problems with permitting. Of course, we will have to go through all the process and make sure that we comply with all the various jurisdictional requirements. But there's a really good worn path in Queensland of how mines can be brought on stream. And we think that really makes us stand out amongst a lot of the other current and future vanadium producers in the world.
Mm-hmm. So what upcoming milestones can investors expect to see from Currie Rose over, say, the next 6 to 18 months?
Very good. So yes, we will be doing a lot of work on our metallurgical side. So currently we have a resource of around about 200 million tonnes of 0.35% vanadium pentoxide, which is the key element, of course, for what we're trying to build together. Now, that's quite a low grade, but we've also got lots of tonnes. We've also got lots of opportunity in our 1,200 square kilometre package to increase our resource. But right now, we're sitting at around 200 million tonnes, which is more than enough for us to really get started on one particular area that we now have in a deposit. The 200 million tonnes is made up of 61 million tonnes of indicated resource, which is also a key milestone for us. We only just converted our resource from 84 million tonnes to 200 million tonnes merely by adding in another 30 drill holes that weren't previously included. And of course, that means that what we really need to do is not go and drill more holes for more resources. We need to consider our processing path, because that's really the next step for us. So we're about to lodge a whole bunch of samples that are from the earlier drilling for a first pass metallurgical test work program that will get underway, and we should have the results from that, I'm guessing, in probably about second quarter. And at around about the same time, we're starting a more detailed diamond drilling program, where we will do a bulk sample from PQ size diamond drilling, and we'll collect enough sample that we won't need to go back for any more metallurgical sample. And it will be a definitive sample, because we won't be just taking a sample from one area of the deposit, which means that then we're in a really great, strong position. So over the next few months post that drilling program, we'll be in a position to look towards having a pre-feasibility study completed by the end of 2023. So we're very excited to be able to put all that together in such a short time frame, considering we only acquired the asset 4 or 5 months ago. So it's a pretty big leap forward in such a short space of time.
So you're in a great jurisdiction, got a great commodity, got some great upcoming news. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your management team's experience.
Yes, so you can probably tell by the look of me, I'm a little bit older than a lot of the people running around at the moment. So I've been in the mining industry for at least 40 years now, and I've worked in a number of commodities in all sorts of mining jurisdictions, including 20 years in and out of Africa, and lots of experience in Australia and also in North America, New Zealand, and a few others. So and I've basically been involved from discovery through feasibility through and into mining as an executive. So I've basically got the whole range of skills, which not everybody can say that they've been through all those trials and tribulations, but certainly having been through all those things, I'm very confident that not only do I certainly have the skills to bring this on, but I know so many people who can help me along the journey, which is really, really important when you think about, people often say, exploration companies always want to be miners, but not all miners want to be exploration companies. So we really need to expand, but use the experience that we have. So apart from myself, I've got the team in Toronto, well-experienced non-executive director there, who's been not only involved in running companies, but he's certainly been a very handy director to provide counsel for myself and the rest of the team. And we're bringing on a couple of other new directors in the not too distant future who will bring a lot more skill, which is needed within the current board, and certainly we're going to bolster that considerably. So the team will be expanding, but not so much that we're going to spend all of our money on people. All our motto is money in the ground, and that's where it'll go.
And tell us a little bit about who your major shareholders and investors are.
Yeah, we're also very fortunate. We've acquired this package from 2 Australian companies, one called Chalice Mining, and the other one is Liontown. Both of those are very successful explorers and on their way to becoming producers. They're currently our 2 largest single shareholders, and I'm quite close to those guys. I actually was part of Chalice long ago when they were working in Eritrea, so I'm very close to how they work. So that's a very important part. And we also have a lot of other local investors in Australia that have been part of the investment in Chalice and Liontown. So they see this as being something which will potentially build into something much like those 2 companies. So we're very pleased to have all of those, what I would call sticky shareholders, on board.
Mhm. And you're listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange?
That's correct, with the Venture Exchange. And Currie Rose is actually quite an old company. It's been around since last century, and it's had many iterations, but I think this is the one that's going to bring it in to be a producer.
Okay. And just one sort of final question, because it's not uncommon, but it is slightly unusual for a company based in Australia with other Australian assets to be listed on the TSX. What was the sort of thinking and rationale behind that?
Well, basically, Currie Rose has had projects all around the place in Tanzania and in South America and Canada, of course. And this opportunity came along, which seemed sort of too good to be true. It really was. We've got infrastructure, we've got resources, we've got everything in place. And of course, having Liontown and Chalice as shareholders, that meant there was a pretty strong benefit to the existing shareholders, although, they may not be well known in Canada. So right now, we see this as being something which will be our advantage. It's a first world jurisdiction. And I think there's a good opportunity for Canadians to get involved in an Australian project and be part of, a really big story that will come out of this continent.
Well, we're certainly seeing much more interest, not just from Canadian investors, but also US investors in Australian projects. You've also, it sounds from listening to you today, Michael, that you and Currie Rose have like a great team, great asset, great mining jurisdiction. We do wish you all the best. That was Andrew Thake from Mines and Money with Michael Griffiths from Currie Rose. Thank you very much for your time, Michael.
Thank you, Andrew. It's been a pleasure.